Hey, what's up, y'all? I am August C. Jones, and I'm going to be talking about the whole situation with the John Campea show. Now, I was thinking of whether or not to talk about this or not, because I was trying to get my thoughts together. Like, is it important enough for me to talk about? Do I really want to get my thoughts? And driving in the car, I realized that I have a lot to say about it. I've listened to other people talk about it, other people's thoughts, and, it's like anger, understanding, acceptance, and all that stuff. And I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on it. So I'm not one of those people that are angry at the whole fact. Like, to be honest, like, I still watch the John Campea show per se. I really just kind of like watch the segments. I don't really have too much time to dedicate to like an hour and a half, 2.5 hour shows every single Monday through Friday, on top of the other things that I have going on in my life. It's like, that's really all I have time to like pay attention to and listen to. If you guys know or you don't know, just to simplify it, John Campea came out recently and was talking about how Rob and Chris aren't going to be on the show as often as they are, because he felt that it was more like financially like better for them to not be on it, because he was losing money by having them on. And so a lot of people just calling the question about things that he was saying, and certain things didn't make sense. And so I've watched this video, I've watched other people's videos, and these are my thoughts. So I'm not going to act like I know what's going on with the John Campea show. I can't pretend like I know everything behind the scenes. I know the financials and everything else. I can't pretend like I know all that, because I don't. We can only take John at his word if you want to. You can only take him at like his word and what he's saying. And whether you want to believe that he's telling the truth, or maybe it's more to the story that they just don't want to put out there. I mean, it's up to you. But even like what other people were saying and what John was saying, it does kind of have some like sketchiness, some weirdness to it. I'm gonna first off with saying that we don't know the financials. No one knows the financials besides John and his financial expert, or whoever else has their eyes on this. Don't nobody else know. So we don't know what he can and can't afford. And so when you look at that, it's like we don't know if he can afford Rob and Chris or not, or if like they are losing money in this and that. And I do know that that is a real thing in business. Like, you have things that may lose money, and that's why a lot of businesses get rid of products and stop doing things that's losing money, and they start putting their attention and money toward things that are like bringing in more money. That's why a lot of shows get canceled and all this stuff, even off of streaming services that you probably wouldn't think. But it's like, I can believe that. And so it's like, in business terms, if you are losing money on something and it's costing your business money, of course you might need to change it around, either eliminate it completely or kind of like shorten your spending on how much you create of it. And with John and Chris, maybe they are losing money. He is losing money by having them on there. And maybe it's one of those things where, yeah, I need to kind of cut them out. And so, like, essentially, yeah, that's the best thing to do for your company. That's the best thing to do for your whole situation, for your financial and everything else. I get that. I totally get that. Like, I can say the one thing, and I listened to this channel, it's called Screen Fiends. Just kind of like going through a few of their videos, because they've been covering it too as well. They were saying some of the things that I was thinking in my head. One of them was talking about him having money to buy an RV, or that he made a video about that he just bought because him and Ann want to start going on road trips and everything else. And like, the thing is, you can't really talk about how somebody is spending their money. Now, we all know that John Campea isn't hurting. just because of all the events he go through, the money that he's dropping on it. And just when you look at the super chats and everything else, and he has channel members, he has all this stuff going on. And you know that they're not bleeding money, that they're not hurting, that there is some money there. But you can't talk about how a person is spending their money, because for all we know, that's his money that he's making, and he has a separate account for his show. That's kind of like saying that I'm going to work and I get a check, and all my checks, like, you know, I could be paying bills and all that stuff, but I'm going out and I'm getting me some new clothes. It's like, I thought you were broke. You're not supposed to be getting new clothes. You're supposed to be wearing the same clothes and and all this stuff. And it's like, kind of, you know, maybe the money that he took of his portion of what he got. Because, I mean, when it comes to like a business, you're going to have money that goes to you and then money that goes toward the business. He probably separated the money that he's getting for himself. He probably saved it up for that. And plus, he does have a significant other that makes money that brings it in as well. So it's like, we don't know how he's paying for that. So, I mean, it's weird looking at it and trying to like call him out on that. And it's like, come on, you know, maybe it was him and Ann's thing or whatever. But in any case, and they were pointing out the fact that how can you sponsor and not have this person on? And that's a valid question. It's a valid question, because when you think about it, you're still spending money per month, like supporting and, you know, sponsoring his channel. And that money could be going toward him. We don't know how much he's paying him. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe he is, you know, maybe it costs less money to sponsor him. And that's why they decided to do it. But I'm looking at it in a sense of, why couldn't you just, you know, limit the time that he's there? You already said that he's part-time. I feel like essentially that there is more to the story than we know. Maybe they had a disagreement. Maybe they decided to just kind of go their separate ways, but be amicable, be civil about it. And maybe they still are cool, but not as cool as they used to be. But, you know, they just found that it was like better for them to be, you know, separate. It's kind of one of those things like, why, if it is like that, if it is to where y'all still cool and y'all just decided this or whatever, and it's nothing more than what we is, maybe we're just overthinking everything. Why couldn't you just have him on Fridays? Maybe just a Friday special show where Monday through Thursday is just you. And then on Fridays, you, Rob, and Chris. Just have it like that. You know, that way you can limit the money that you pay Chris and Rob until your channel gets up to the point where you can afford them to be on more than just that. It's like, I feel like he should have just said for the time being or something like that. But he made it seem like Rob ain't going to be on there anytime soon. If it is, it maybe once a month. But he's going to be doing his separate thing. So to me, that just says kind of like, maybe there's more to the story that they just don't want to tell. And then I know maybe I'm tripping, but even in watching the segments that they separate on his channel, I've noticed that Chris has been on there, even though he said that he was going to reduce the roles of Chris and Rob. It's like Chris been on there like almost every day. If I'm not tripping, like, let me know if I'm tripping. And so I'm like, so what, like, are you paying Rob extremely more than what you're paying Chris? And why is Chris on there when you said that both of them was going to have reduced roles and, you know, wasn't going to be on the channel like that? And it's weird to me. I feel like there's something more going on that they just don't want to talk about, because, I mean, in all actuality, it's none of our business. It's none of our business. So, like, we just take something and we just run with it and just make conspiracies about it, because it could just be simple as that. But the guy from Screen Things brought up the fact that, like, to bring the financials in the picture, when you bring that into play, it does raise more questions. And I feel like he shouldn't have done that. Maybe he should have just been like, yo, we decided to, like, Rob wanted to work more on his channel, and I felt like it was good. You know, go do your thing, blah, blah, blah. And you're still welcome over here. And maybe Chris, he could say that Chris maybe wanted to do more or whatever she wanted to do or whatever. And go ahead and do that. and I wanted to take the channel in a certain direction and blah, blah, blah. But when you bring the financials into it, it does raise a lot of questions. So I do agree with the guy from Screen Things that he should not have brought the financials in the picture, because then people start to realize stuff. And when people start to realize stuff, it's like, yeah, you're going to have to keep asking this. And I'm pretty sure after a while, he's just going to pass over it. Like, you know, he's not even going to answer those questions anymore. It's weird for him to, at one point, start off, of course, by himself, and have other people included into the fray. And him saying that, like, he wanted to change the name of the channel. He was trying to get suggestions of what people, you know, having people come in, you know, super chat in and give like names and suggestions. And he wanted to make it more of a panel type thing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's like, no, I want to make it John Campea show. Like, I want to keep it the John Campea show. I want it to be revolving around me. I don't want it to be a panel. I don't want to recreate AMC Movie Talk or Collider Movie Talk. And the thing is, like, it's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with bringing more people on there. You get more diversity. That's why, like, even for my channel, I'm trying to figure out ways to build it up. And I want to build it up to a certain point, but eventually I want to start bringing more people in. Some people that I actually rock with that have other insights on other things, that, like, you know, have more of a insight on anime than I do, on different anime shows. It has a different thought process on Marvel and DC film, and just other movies in general, and just other things. I want to bring more people in, but I want to build my channel up to get to that point, because then that way you'll have diversity. Because, like, if people don't want to come in and see me talk about my thoughts, people can tune in to see this person and that, or that person, you know, do that. And I felt like it would be better. And it's weird how he said he doesn't want to recreate that. That's why he wanted to just, you know, kind of get rid of those elements. But the thing is like, if that's what's making your show popular, because you have Chris, who has maybe a vastly different opinion than what you do, or you have Rob, who has a vastly different opinion than what you do, why not keep them on the show? Why not do that? And the thing that I was looking at the other day was the fact that he said having them on in the afternoons is costly, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking at them like, but you have a show called Designing Hollywood that, for some reason, it's mind-boggling of why you have that on there. Because when you look at it, it's like, who is that show for? It's not for the male demographic. And I'm pretty sure, like, I don't have to look at his demographic. I'm just right off the top, I already know that majority of the people that watch his show are male. Now, I don't know the age group or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that they're all majority male. And you know, you probably have a large percentage of females, but I'm pretty sure that there are a larger majority of males watching your show. So who is Designing Hollywood for? Because me seeing the name of it, it doesn't interest me. I don't care about the fashions and the looks and stuff. I mean, to a certain point, yeah, but not enough to go look it up and, you know, watch it, especially an hour-plus long podcast of talking about the designs and, like, the wardrobe and movies and shows. I don't care enough of that. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that don't care enough of that. And the numbers show it, because if you're going by the numbers, and this is a show that has Rob on it. It's a show that has Rob on it. I don't know if every single episode was Rob and whoever else he was, the guest that he was talking to, but I looked at the numbers. Of course, the highest viewed show on there was the flagship show, the John Campea show. And then I believe after that, it would be the Companions, Open Mics, and then it would be the Weekly Hero. And then below that, it's Designing Hollywood. So it's like, there's your money issue right there. Why are you constantly doing that show with Rob, and it's not garnering enough views to warrant you keep it going on? I would put more into the Weekly Hero. Maybe have John and Chris, would have Rob and Chris do that show. you know, have him on just to do that show and maybe have him on the Friday show and just do that. But you're having a show on your network, on your channel that aren't getting enough views. Like a lot of them are below 10,000 views. Like others, the Weekly Hero, the open mics, and the other show, I forget, the open mics and the companion videos, and then the flagship show are all doing over 10,000, doing over 20, 30, 50,000, 60,000. That's the only one that maybe had like one show recently within the last 10 episodes do close to about 20,000. But other than that, they're like 20,000 and below. So a lot of majority of your audience aren't following those, aren't watching those shows. So that would be my first thing, is to cut tail on that. Like I would literally get rid of that show. I don't even know why that show was created. I understand him trying to diversify it and have this and that. But honestly, if you're not trying to do what Collider and AMC Movie Talk, you're not trying to recreate it, that honestly, to me, seemed like a show that would be on Collider Movie Talk, or, you know, the Collider channel, Collider Video. That's so weird to me. Like, I would just really try to put more money into what works. And the Weekly Hero, Companion, Open Mics, and the John Campea Show are all what works. So just go full-fledged with that. Then on top of that, to add to the whole, you know, want to recreate Collider, is why do you have Jonathan, Taylor, and Ray speak? If you just wanted it to be you would have Ray, because you just came out on like a companion video or open mic or something like that, where you were answering a question and you were talking about all the stuff that Ray does. Why is he even on the show? Why don't you just have him, literally, he's in the studio, but he's in the office, like just doing what he's doing? Why does he have to have a role on the show? Essentially, even if you get rid of Rob and Chris, you still have Ray to talk to. You still ask Ray questions. Ray still has things to say. Why is Taylor talking? Why does he have things to say? Why is Jonathan talking? He has things to say. Essentially, even if you got rid of Chris and Rob, you're still paying these guys. And I don't know how he separates, and I don't know if he just includes like on-air talent, because essentially, like Ray, Jonathan, and Taylor are all on-air talents. They may not be as like vocal as Chris and Rob would be if they were on there, but essentially, almost, I want to say every single like major topic he asked, like what they think about it. And or either that, or they cut in and give their own thoughts. So it's like, essentially, you're still having a panel. It's not going as hard as you would normally do, but you are. And I don't know if he's separating on air as well as behind the scenes pay, or if he just clump it all in. But I don't know, to me, it's like if I'm on air and I'm doing behind the scenes, but my job title only says that I'm behind the scenes, are you going to pay me for on screen, or how? I don't know how business goes. I can't even say that I understand it. I don't know what he's paying them, how he's paying them, what he separates and what he don't. But at the end of the day, it is called the John Campea Show. He can do whatever the hell he wants to. Just like with my channel. It's called CMJ World. And I can do whatever the hell I want to do. It's all up to me. If I just want to just have it just me all the time, no features or anything, no interviews or whatever I may have on the channel, I can do that. If I want to bring more people in, which I actually do, and have different things on my channel, I can do that. You know, and it's just like him. If he wants to have people on, he can. If he don't, then he don't have to. It's called the John Campea Show. And like, I understand that, but at least make your steps like meaningful, you know, make sense with it. I'm going to try not to make this a little bit too longer. I've already gone as long as like a podcast or whatever, but it's just, that's what kind of like stands out to me is, first of all, we don't know how the financials look. We can only guess. Secondly, he didn't have to get rid of Rob completely. He could have just reduced it literally to maybe once or twice a week. Then, you know, if you're going to do that, eliminate the panel aspect of it. Why is Chris still on there? Eliminate her completely. You know, take her out. Let her do what she going to do. Then on top of that, like, Ray don't need to speak, Taylor don't need to speak, and John don't need to speak. They literally can just be there. You don't even have to have, like you can just be sitting there talking. Like, I mean, how you do the companion videos, you can go back to doing it just like that. And that's just my whole thing. Like, just like everybody else, when I heard him speak, a lot of it kind of didn't make sense. That's why I personally believe that there is more to this than it is. Do we need to know? No, we don't. It's none of our business. It's none of our business. If Rob didn't say anything major, which I've heard that he did say something, I just can't find like the part. Like, no one has like broke it off and put it as a short or anything. But apparently, and I haven't seen this yet, but apparently Rob did say something about it where he said that, like, it wasn't anything that Rob or Chris, the price wasn't what Rob and Chris came up with. It was what John said that he was going to pay them. So that brings another dynamic to the whole thing. It's like, if I'm telling you that I'm going to pay you $100 each time that you're on screen, pay you $100, and then some odd, like a year or something later, say like, oh yeah, well, I can't afford to pay you. It's like, then why you like say that you were going to pay me $100? Like, you could have just simply said you were going to pay me $50, you know, and like, you know, this and that. And it's just weird. I don't know. It's very weird, the whole situation. But I mean, this is hot. I know it's going to blow over. It's one of those things that we may just never know until maybe years later. Maybe we're far removed from it, and Rob actually comes out, or Chris says something about it. But it is weird. Like, and I'm still waiting on a video of somebody speaking on what happened to the girls that got hired to be on the John Campea show. Alu Moana, I know she's doing the whole music thing right now. And then the other girl, I forgot her name, but like, what happened to them? They were on the show maybe for like about 2-3 months, and then bam, they just not on there no more. Erin hasn't been on there in a minute. I mean, she's an actress, so she's probably doing other things, but it's kind of weird. Certain aspects happen, and then now this happens. So it's like, what really is going on? But I mean, we may not know. We may never know. I mean, it's just one of those things that we can just theorize and, you know, just speculate, but we may never know until somebody actually comes out and talks about it. But I do feel like it's weird. Like, if you are going to eliminate the whole panel thing, all you need to do is literally, like, take Ray, John, and Taylor out the equation. Maybe reduce Chris down to a day. Maybe even have Rob on down to a day, and then, or not have him on at all, like you said he's gonna do, and just kind of go that route. But I mean, that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, it's not our business. We can only speculate. I just wanted to get on here and talk about it because I had a lot of things on my mind, and, you know, it's just, I kind of wanted to get it out. I kind of wanted to talk about it, add to the conversation and whatnot. But I do respect John. I do watch him. I do like his takes on movies, and he's actually one of the inspirations as to why I started my channel and started doing movie reviews. It was him and Chris Stuckman and everything else. So I have a lot of respect for the man. I do. I have a lot of respect for him and everything else. I may not agree with everything that he says, but at the same time, you know, I do respect the man. I do like his content, and I'm going to keep watching it until I disagree and I don't feel like I need to watch his stuff. But in any case, yeah, those are my thoughts. I think I got through everything. This video was longer than what I wanted it to be, but I had to get all my thoughts out. And if I have any more thoughts, I may make another video. Other than that, I think majority of my thoughts are out. So If you guys like this content, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and go ahead, subscribe, bell, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Check out some other videos, and peace out.